Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 8 p.m. on the East Coast. So at least I'm late, but I said I was late, so I'm on time for my lateness. Does that make sense? I've decided that that makes it okay as long as I tell you in advance that I'm going to be late. Now, I actually had a couple press hits I had to do today, which kind of got in my way. I had a couple things I was working on, and I also had to ensure that I took care of some of the business today. So I'm tad late. I apologize. And I wanted to eat before I did this because tomorrow I am taking off. For those of you who don't know or don't know, I will be heading off to upstate New York. Yes, I mean actual upstate, not like Westchester. I mean, Westchester is for us New Yorkers upstate, but I mean real upstate. I'll be heading up to the Cortland Diner. I'll be up there at Cortland Diner tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. So those of you who can be into the Cortland area, please show up if you can. I will be in Canandaigua at 9 a.m. at Ray's Restaurant on Sunday. And then at noon, I will be at Veneto Pizza in Rochester. And then at 4 o'clock on Sunday, I'll be back down in Elmira. I will be at the Ill Eagle Tavern. So 4 stops, Saturday and Sunday, if those of you want to come by and say hi. So I'll be on the road. Maybe challenging to do all 20 days. I'm going to try to do a show tomorrow, either at the event. The problem is when I go to events, I don't always have a right place to do a show. Like there's not a physical spot available. And I can't do a show in the middle of a restaurant if people don't want to be part of it. Now, it has happened for those of you who watch my events where I go to a spot in a restaurant and then people either recognize me or think it's cool and they all jump on board. And then all of a sudden they start rushing together. Probably the funniest story of me doing this. This was probably 2019 or 2020. So it was after I'd run for governor and I was trying to cross the state and support other people running and still see as I cross the all the time. I'm not running now and I still cross the state. So I go to a smaller place and it's someplace in Western New York. I forgot where it was, but it's a smaller town. And I go there. Sorry, it was in North Country. Yeah, North Country. It was, yeah. And so I go to a spot. Nobody shows up to my event except for the person who put it together, right? So it's me, the person I brought, and then the person who put it together, she shows up. So it's her, the one person in the area, and me and the person I brought. There were 3 people. Like, okay, does happen sometimes. It happened. I thought, okay, this is not very good. So what do? I said, all right, I'm just going to work the room. So I start working there's people outside. It's the summer. So I go, hey, how you doing? I ran for governor a couple years back. Want to say hi. And some guy happens to remember me. It's a true story. Some guy happens to remember me. He's like, oh, hey, wait a minute. You're Larry Sharpe. You ran for governor a couple years back. I said, yeah, it's me. All of a sudden, everyone's taking selfies of me. It's a very funny story because they didn't know who I was. They still didn't know who I was, right? But early on, they're like, whatever, who's this guy? They didn't care. But then since somebody recognized me, all of a sudden I became popular. So now I've got a line of people taking selfies with me who didn't know who I was 10 minutes ago, still don't know who I am, but think that I must be special because people are taking selfies with me. I just thought that was amazing. Good story. Thought you guys might enjoy that. So I will be out this weekend. It may be 3 people and it may be lots. When I don't want to rallies usually have 100, 200, 300 if I have a rally. It's very rare for me to realize I'm not running, right? Not rare. I never do unless I'm running. So without it, the most I'll ever get is probably 20 people. That's a very big one. 30 maybe, but that's very big. Usually I get somewhere between 5, 6, 8, 10 people in that area. That's the norm. So if you guys want to come by, it's very intimate. We have an actual chat, sit down. And as always, it's free to come. Please purchase something from the local person. That's what I would like you to do. Please purchase a cup of coffee. Doesn't matter, whatever the case may be. So Joseph asks right away, he says, what made you pick these specific towns? By the way, thank you for being a member, Joseph. I picked these because I want to go to specifically Rochester for a specific reason, a specific supporter who wants to chat. He's also an RFK Jr. supporter. He's also the guy who runs the place. He's a Larry Sharpe supporter and an RFK Jr. supporter. He has an issue and he wants to chat with me and also a local city council person who I actually know who's been on my show. She's actually very good. She cares tremendously about her people. She is a Democrat in the area, and we're probably all going to have a chat and talk. So it was based around that piece, and the rest was getting there and coming back in an area that's wide enough so that more people can be there. I also try to go not only to large towns and cities, but to smaller places so that people will feel like I care about them, because I do. So I go to places like Cortland's not massive. The town isn't massive. The county isn't massive. Elmira isn't massive. These are small areas. Elmira is almost on the border of Pennsylvania. So I go to smaller. Canandaigua is not huge. It's kind of like a Finger Lakes town. So I go there because I want people to know I care. So I pick these towns because so more people could see me. It's spread out. Each one's about 2 hours apart. So if you're prepared to drive, upstate New York, you drive an hour, nobody cares. That's what we do in upstate New York. So that basically gives me a 4-hour wide berth, if that makes any sense, for people to come see me. So I'm trying to make it easy for people to see me. That's the reason why I picked those places. So, and I also have to find a spot to where I can find local spots that aren't franchises or big business. That can also be challenging. I only go to locally run stores. So there we go. I hope that makes sense. Gene asks, how do you spell the pizza place in Rochester? It's Veneto. Veneto, which is at 318 East Avenue. So yeah, there we go. Hope that answers your question. The AC says, have you written any books? I have one I'm not done with. It is a book on happiness. And this is a true story on my book on happiness. A little bit off topic. Oh, I'm going off topic. I will get back on, I promise. All right. Anyway, AC, thank you for being a member. I have been part of 3 books, meaning I have written either an intro or a foreword or a chapter in 3 separate books, but I have not written specifically yet a book that's mine yet. However, I have almost written a book. What do I mean by that? I wrote a book about 4 years ago. I finished it. It's on happiness. You hear me talk about happiness often. I literally wrote a book on it. And I gave out the first 5 chapters at Freedom Fest several years ago to see if people liked it. Just gave it out. About 200 copies. About 100 copies? The first 5 chapters, I gave it out. And I said, let me know what you think. Nobody responded to me. 100 people I gave it out to. Nobody responded. So AC, I thought, damn, my book must suck. Okay, it's a garbage book. I'm fooling myself. It sucks. And I shelved it. Literally shelved it. It's actually, the book is actually right here. I literally just shelved it. This is actually the book on happiness. This is the book I wrote. So yes, I'm not joking when I say it. I literally wrote a book on happiness. Get the first 5 chapters out. No one responded. I thought, okay, this book is garbage. But you know what? I'm fooling myself. I'm not a good writer. Nobody cares. Move on. The market has spoken. I am a libertarian, by the way. So I figured nobody gives a damn and forget whatever. Okay, good. So I moved on. Then about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, people started reaching out to me. Hey, Larry, when's your book coming out? What do you mean? Well, you gave me the 5 chapters. Yeah, you didn't say anything. I thought it sucked. Like, no, we liked it. I literally gave it to you. And I asked you to tell me what you thought of it. You said nothing. Why would I think nothing? I think nothing because you like me. You don't want me to feel bad. It sucks. You don't want to tell me it sucks. That is what I assumed. That you just didn't make me. You don't make me feel bad because these people who knew me, so they probably didn't want to make me feel bad because they knew me, liked me. That, you know what? I'll just say nothing. It's a crappy book. They're like, no. And like 3 people are like, it's great. Well, my entire life has changed in those 2 years. I have to now rewrite a part of the end, and I have to now add a chapter now. So I'll probably do that December, January, and the book will come out next year. I already have a publisher for it. So I will. The reason why people will publish my book is because I have a platform, right? Like this. I have a platform here, other platforms I go speak, I go on TV, whatever, so I can talk about my book and I can go on a book tour. So next year I will put out my book. It is on happiness, but to instant defense, nobody cared. But they did care. They just didn't bother telling me. So yes, there we go. Pickerbell says, maybe they thought you were being polite. I don't know what they thought, but I just asked them to tell me something. Like, tell me if you don't like it. Tell me whatever. And they didn't. So I assumed that it sucked. And then literally like 4 or 5 people came to me just last year like, hey, Larry, we want your book to come out. Really? And I didn't like ask about the book. I just said, I've literally shelved it. Like it's been sitting here for like a year. I just didn't care. And then all of a sudden they said it. So I will be now rewriting a piece of it and it will be coming out next year. So way off topic, guys. But yes, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. What did I want to talk about today? What was the thing that kind of got me spurred? And that was TikTok. Why TikTok? because TikTok is bad because TikTok is Chinese. That's the part that bothers me. Not the part that it affects our kids, because all of them do. Facebook does, YouTube does, all of them do. Not the fact that they're trying to become a monopoly. YouTube's a damn monopoly. So I've talked baby talk when I'm on here because YouTube will ban me and it destroys us. So we have monopolies and oligopolies. Is that right? Oligarchies, oligopolies. Yes, oligopolies. And we have these things that affect our kids and everything already. It's not like that doesn't exist. It already exists. And now we're mad at TikTok. I'm not extra mad at TikTok. If you want to start changing laws to break these companies up or things like that, it's fine, whatever. But my issue with this is that it's TikTok and that, well, it's a foreign government. And I know people get mad at that. Larry, it's about our security and foreign government and security. I get the argument. I just don't care. Why? Well, number one, if they want our information, they can get it from damn Temu or whatever, all the people who buy from that place, right? So they can get our information if they want it. But not just that. If the Chinese government has my information or something, I mean, I'm not on TikTok. I mean, I'm on TikTok, but I don't put much out there, right? Whatever. Do I care? Why do I care if they have my information? The Chinese government can't put me in jail. The American government can. The Chinese government can't shut my business down. The American government can and did. The Chinese government can't make me stay in my house. The American government can and did. Yeah. The Chinese government can't stop me from flying. The American government can and did when it came to people like Tulsi Gabbard. And not just that, my lieutenant governor, who I had on my ticket, they put him on a no-fly list too. No reason, just because they can. They just did it. They just did it. That's the issue. So am I so worried about China? There's other problems, right? I don't really care. But it feels good. But here's how I know it wasn't real. Because Trump was all about banning TikTok when he was president. All about it. Remember? Gonna ban TikTok. Oh, get rid of it all. Can't stand it all. Remember all that stuff? Yeah, absolutely. Now all of a sudden, he's gonna be president again. He's like, I'm gonna protect TikTok. TikTok's my friend. What changed? I thought it was so bad. If it really was that bad, wouldn't Trump still be like, oh, let's end it? But then look at Trump's people who he's bringing in. Are they all like, TikTok's bad, get rid of it? Not all of them. Some of them are. Why would some of those people care so much about banning TikTok? Well, if TikTok gets banned, someone will have to ban it or to go under. It's by, I think, middle of January 18, 19, something like that. So whatever the case may be, if it gets banned or it has to be sold, whatever, who's going to benefit? Wait a minute. Oh, right, Zuckerberg from Meta. That's right. And the people over at Snapchat and the people over at YouTube. Yeah, all of them are going to do it. They're all going to gain tons. They're going to love it because if TikTok goes away, what are people going to do? Stop going online? No. They're going to go someplace else. They're going to go someplace else. Joel says, the TikTok ban was an attempt to control content in all platforms. It's like net neutrality tried. Yes. Yes, Joel. That's my issue. Yes. See, they can easily control Facebook, easily control YouTube. We know this. I watched them shadow ban me. I watched them crush my business. I watched them crush tons of them. I watched them do it. But TikTok, they can't control. I'm not pro TikTok. I just don't care. It's not the big deal that people talk about. That's what I'm saying here, right? That's the issue, right? Peace out. Thank you for the $5, my friend. TikTok has addressed all the issues that were concerned anybody and separated the servers and everything else you would think about. Yeah, maybe, but what if they didn't? I'm not saying you're wrong, but what if they didn't? So now the Chinese government knows, I don't know, when I'm online or something, like YouTube doesn't. The Chinese government knows when I post things, like Facebook doesn't know. What's the problem? If the U.S. government says, TikTok, give me information, the Chinese government might say no. Good. Facebook will bend over like there's no tomorrow. So will all of them. They will all just bend over and give them everything. What do you need to put Larry in jail? Here you go. Take it all. Take it all. And I go, but Larry, you don't understand. they're going to sell our data. Oh, and Facebook isn't? And YouTube's not gonna? Google's not gonna do? They're not gonna, because they're Americans, they care about us? Is that what you're telling me? Stop. They're selling it too. They're all selling it. I don't care. I'm saying this is odd. I'm saying it, I'm talking about it, saying I don't care about it, which sounds really stupid. I know. I'm aware of my hypocrisy, if that makes any sense. I'm aware of my hypocrisy. I don't care if they ban it or not. It's not a big deal to me either way. But I know lots of people really care one way or the other. I'm like, the other guy's just as bad. They sell our data. They sell us out. They bend over to the federal government. They'll help. If I did something wrong and the government could go to Facebook or Meta or the same thing, but whatever, to YouTube and say, hey, we need some information on Larry so we can put him in jail. They would not take a second, not a second, to throw all that data at them. Take them all, put them away, put that guy. We wouldn't think twice. Absolutely. So yes, the AC says it's about influence, not, I think you mean data, but yes, not data. Okay, I'll buy that too. I'll buy that. I'm with you. I'm not against that. I think you're right. And here's my issue. The government wants to control the influence. The U.S. government did that during the lockdowns. See, this is the problem. If the lockdowns had never happened, if the shadow banning had never happened, if the lies that we see had never happened, I would be more like, yeah, TikTok's bad. But I watched the government use all of this to influence us. I said now, why do you think there's any chance right now for CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, AP, all of them to keep surviving? Because all major media, all the major platforms push them to the top on purpose. Not because they pay more money, not because they're right, because the government tells them to. I'm not making that up. If you put in news in Google, you're not going to get independent news. You got to search for that and change everything around. Otherwise, you get CNN, Fox, and you get that. Why? Because they pay more? No, because government says that's the official news. That's the corporate news. That's influencing us. That's influencing us. So yeah, all I'm saying is I get it. Influence too. Yes, agreed. Influence too. That also. Yes. Peace. Thank you again. They also trying to ban all drones that are manufactured in China. It's BS. The best commercial drones are made in China, like from DJ. I'm not sure what that one's from. Yes, but yeah. No. Again, yeah. So now they're going to look. Again, if a private company decides that it doesn't want to push X or Y, they should at least be honest. What I've spoken about, my biggest thing is transparency. And as a libertarian, I'm not going to be like, ban everything. Of course not. But here's my issue. And I think it's a reasonable concept that I have it to be forward. There may be some holes in this, and you guys can tell me if there's some holes in this concept. But it's a conceptual law. Most of the laws and bills I put together, I have really thought through. This one I have not. So it may not be 100% correct, but I want you to get where my head is. So this is where my head is on this one. If your platform is primarily, and that number could be 66%, 51%, 78%, whatever number is, primarily its number one issue is bringing on users for free, meaning there is no payment. If it is free, meaning anyone in the public can just get on if they want to. If that is the number one primary use of your platform, then it is by default, because of that model that you choose, it is by default part of the public square. And therefore, by default, all of its algorithms and everything it has must be publicly, transparently seen. Period. That's it. If you go, Larry, we don't do that. You must pay to be part of our thing, and that's how it works. You can only be free if you're like somebody's friend, but no, this is a club. Then do whatever you want. It's privately held, privately owned, not public square. Fine. And they go, but Larry, you can pay for Twitter or you can pay for YouTube. True, but that isn't the primary piece. The vast majority of users are free users. The vast majority, and all those platforms are free users, in which case everything must be transparent. That should be the law. If you want to have a privatized thing where it's just the people we pay money and we be part of it, fine. Does not have to be transparent. As long as the people know what they're doing, all good. But if you actually say, no, it's public square, everyone has to see it. You do that, change everything. If everyone sees the actual algorithms, they see it, then we all know. That's it. So P says, parents need better education on how they should allow kids to access the internet and apps. This is the secondary piece. You bring up another piece. You bring up another piece. I'm going to keep using that word now. You bring up another piece here, which is you're also watching something else happen, which this is more important to me. The second idea is you're finding countries and states deciding how old someone can be to use social media. Now, again, I'll go back to my first idea. If it is privately held and parents, adults pay for it, they do what they want with their kids, right? If I pay for something, meaning it's a privately held thing, right? The public doesn't have access to it. You have to pay a fee, whatever that fee is. And I want to let my kids on it. That's fine. That's not really social media. That's a private, whatever, server or something. Oh, no worries. Do what you want. But now states are going, okay, no. Australia, if I'm not mistaken, I think just put a ban on social media under 16. I think that's right. Under 16, I think that's correct. Someone I'm sure will correct me. You can't you can't use social media in Australia. Well, how do the social media companies deal with that? Not going to be easy. But that's their issue. They have to figure this out because they're recognizing that social media, particularly for the youngsters, is addictive. It's hurting youngsters. I get it. I'm not mad at it. I'm actually not. I'm not mad at it at all. You figure it out and you have to figure it out, whatever the case may be. If you're going to tell me, TikTok and Instagram, you can't use it until you're at the age of consent in your state, whatever that is, 16, 17, whatever your age of consent is. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. Do whatever you feel is appropriate. And eventually what will happen? We're going to start finding that, right? And that's going to wind up happening by default, piece. As we start seeing what the rules are, parents are going to start saying, wait a minute, they made a law that you can't use social media until you're 17? Huh. What did I miss? What am I doing wrong? How do I fix this? For some of you who don't know this, there's actually a rise in dumb phones or flip phones or such, like phones that don't have all the apps, phones where you can't get everything on it. People are going back to buying flip phones. Some of you are going to see my daughter is coming with me. My 20-year-old daughter is coming with me this weekend. She'll be out here with me. She's 20. She has a flip phone. She bought it on her own. She's like, I don't want to be part of this. Yes, I am proud of my daughter. Yes, I am. She's a flip phone. She's like, flip. Yes, she doesn't want to be on TikTok and on Instagram. She doesn't be on that. She's like, it's wasting my time. Can't get stuff done. Sucks up all my time. She doesn't want it. So actually, there's a rise in this piece. More and more people are going down that road. So I think you've hit something that I think is actually more important. Rather than focusing on banning TikTok or not, I'd rather us start looking at, is there influence in our children? Is there influence in our governments? Are they influencing us? More important. And then should we be worried about age? Should we be worried about transparency? Transparency far more important to me, and kids far more important than TikTok, right? And to be forward, I don't think TikTok's getting banned. I think Trump has changed his mind. He's like, nope, not doing it. So, and Trump changed his mind. So yes. Joseph says, don't lie, Larry. You want to ban Joy Reid. Accurate statement. Guilty as charged, Joseph. Yes, I throw myself on the mercy of the court. Guilty as charged. Absolutely. By the way, you see these super chats, guys. As I always say, if you like what I'm saying and where I'm going and you like the conversation that we're having, please click the button known as L-I-K-E. Like, do that. Press it, attack it, smack it, use a digit, whatever digit you want. I'm not watching. Whatever you feel, do your thing. Just make sure you click it because it matters. It's how I get past. You see how upset I am when I talk about shadow banning and why I have no worries or I have no, what's I'm looking for? I have no compassion for YouTube or Twitter. Well, now Twitter, because Twitter's been good to me now since Elon got it. Because my shadow ban went away once Elon bought Twitter. My shadow ban overnight went away. So I know that's good. So yeah, but for the rest of them, I don't have any. I don't care. They hammered me. And they punished people. So I didn't care. So click that button that's like to get me around that. Also, if you are watching on Twitter or Facebook, please share this into someplace else. Share it into a group. Share it someplace you can, whatever the case may be. It does matter. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and follow me on all the cool things. Every follow also matters. You can super chat me as you see Joseph did. Thank you so much. You see Peace did. Thank you for that also. And of course, you can always become a member. December 16th is when I'll be doing my members only show. Members only on as not to watch. Anyone can watch, but who will be physically here with me. I'll be posting that online probably next Monday. I'll post it. And if you're interested, let me know. I'll try to grab the top 30 people and we'll keep moving on from there. I'll be doing this every month to rotate members through. So yes. So guys who want last, and you can't come on again yet. Maybe next time, but not this time. Let somebody else come on. Then you guys come back on. So yes. All right. I hope that was clear on what I'm trying to achieve. I hope you guys understand that so we can make that happen. All right. So as I keep moving down this, there are options that we could deal with here. And I think some of them are actually good ones. And the idea is, could the Supreme Court step in? The Supreme Court is probably going to see this because just today, why I'm bringing this up, is a federal court said, oh, no, it's fine. You can ban TikTok. It's totally okay. First Amendment, that's for chumps. We don't care about that. Supreme Court, the federal judges also, of course, said, like in New York, Second Amendment, it's not a thing. We don't. Okay, Bill of Rights, Bill of Suggestions. That's how these New York State judges looking at these are DC judges. Same thing. This is the Bill of Suggestions, not the Bill of Rights, okay? You don't have rights. You have privileges that we might give you here or there. That's it. So they decided that. Hopefully the Supreme Court will actually think about the idea of freedom of speech because it's literally 170 million Americans on TikTok now using it and making money. It's very popular. People want it. What happens if they go away? I don't know. Let me grab a couple of these comments from Rumble. Straight End says, I use a flip phone most of the time. Look at that. I tether my old iPhone when I need the internet or search location. There we go. Yes, absolutely. So my daughter is not alone. There we go. Andrew says, I think more people should touch grass. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Absolutely. So, all right, let me grab a couple more comments here if I could. All righty. I will grab some of these. Adrian says, I don't think TikTok will be banned, but it might adjust a little bit. I think that's what will probably happen. I think, look, Trump is all about what things look like. That's one of his biggest things. He always wants to feel like a winner. That's important to him. So I don't think TikTok just gets a pass. I think you're right, Adrian. TikTok says something, right? I think TikTok says like, oh no, we promised this or we promised that or whatever the thing is. Trump declares victory. They were scared of me. I'm powerful Trump guy, and he doesn't ban them. That's what I think is going to wind up happening if SCOTUS doesn't do this. I think someone is going to kick the can, down the road. If they don't make a decision by January 19th or 18th, whatever that day is, TikTok has to stop working. It's done, right? Now, they can make a stay. SCOTUS can make a stay and go, look, no, we have a stay of 90 days to see if you can get bought or whatever the case may be. They can do that. The president can say, I'm just not going to enforce it. Do what you want. And then Trump basically just goes, I'm not going to do anything. Good luck. It's all good. So Trump can basically ignore this. And I think if TikTok gives anything, I think Trump will. I think he'll just do it. And I don't doubt that because SCOTUS knows this, SCOTUS may accept that they're going to take it. Or they may go, yes, we will see this case, but we'll see it in February or something like that. That's what I think is going to happen. SCOTUS will take it and say, we'll see it, but we'll see it like in February or March or something, giving Trump a chance to say, forget about this. And then SCOTUS goes, we'll drop it. Okay, we'll drop it. It's at that point, it becomes moot. So they'll be like, well, we don't have to see it then. Done. That's what I think will happen. That is my gut. We'll see if I'm right. Job says, when will you be in the Hudson Valley? Probably early next year. This is my 7th full Sharpe that I'm running. I did 4, I'm doing 4 this weekend. I'm going to try to do 1 or probably 2. Most of my runs when I go out, I do at least 7 stops, sometimes 8 or 9 in one trip. Next time when I do it, I will hit the Hudson Valley probably twice, once on the way up, once on the way down. So I'll probably head up into North Country and hit one Hudson Valley county on the way up, and then on the way back, or I'll head out to Western New York and I'll hit one on the way in and one on the way back. So generally speaking, that's what I'll do. If I leave on, say, a Friday, maybe I'll do Friday in like Greene County, something like that, as an example. Then I'll head out for the morning and I'll do like Binghamton, and then all the way out to like Cattaraugus, and then come back, do a couple, and then end up like Ulster, and then go home. Something like that. So that's a common type thing that I do. So I'll let you know in advance when it happens, probably early next year. So yes. All righty. Vivek says, I mean, it's the law. He can't do anything about it. Maybe his Supreme Court will overturn it. No, he'll just not enforce it, Vivek. That's how he does it. He goes, I'm not going to enforce it. Remember, what people don't get. A president can basically nullify laws by not enforcing it. I spoke about the pardon. Yes, remember, you can do blanket pardons and basically nullify laws. You can. Jurors can nullify laws by just going, I'm not going to vote guilty on it. I'm just not doing it. We have ways of nullifying laws. Remember, for some reason in America, we have this idea of rule of law being everything. And we go, Larry, it sounds dumb. Isn't that what we want? No. Well, and this is what we always get. Are we a nation of men or a nation of laws? Neither is impressive. Both can suck. Imperial Japan, fascist Germany, both nations of laws. Not impressed, right? Not impressed. You can be either. That's not what I'm talking about. I want us to be a nation of principles. That's impressive. We don't have many of those. That's not a thing you see every day. Lots of terrible nations are nations of laws. Lots of terrible nations are nations of men. That's lots of them, and they're terrible. But find me a nation of principles. Now I want something. So yeah, people, again, just because something's legal, so what? Right? So what? It was legal to beat your wife at one point. That didn't make it right or good, but it was legal, right? It was legal to own people at one point. It was legal if a woman wanted to go vote, that you could grab her by the back of the neck and throw her in a truck and put her in jail. That was a thing you could do, and it was completely legal, and they did it. Yeah, so yeah, not impressed by that. I get what you're saying, Vivek, but no, I think nullifying laws is an excellent idea, right? And that's the same question, right? It was illegal if a slave left the South and went to the North, and you didn't help send that slave back into slavery. That was illegal. So I don't care. Pickerbell says pubcast. I've done that before, and if you look into myself, I do have a bunch of them. I try to do that whenever I can. I do. It's just not always appropriate, is all I'm saying. It isn't always appropriate. That's the only issue. And I also don't want to. I'm not there. The thing that would make me angry sometimes when I'm a go Pickerbell, you bring this up, now you're triggering me. You trying to trigger me? It worked. Is I would go to somebody's place. And one of the things I do, if you watch, I promote the place. There are many times where people would go to this place that they had never gone to before. It might have even been in their own neighborhood. And they're accustomed to going to the big business and they don't go to the small business. So I promote the small business, come there, see it. Oh my God, they buy something, whatever. They start showing up. It gets them more customers, supports local communities. That's I taught the talk, I walked the walk, right? And then people would come sometimes and just want a grandstand. And I don't mind the grandstanding if you're outdoors or whatever, or it's in my event, whatever, it's fine. But when you're grandstanding and you're affecting other customers and you're making a guy, now I start getting upset. That is when I often yell back, right? I've said I've yelled back before. I have been very nasty and horrible and scolded people to get them out. Not because they were mad at me, because they were making it rough on the people and messing up the business who I'm trying to help. Now, you want to call me names, it's fine. I get old. I'm going out in public. I got to take that, or I can shut up and go work someplace where I don't see people. That's my choice. I'm doing this. I'm out there. I got to deal with it. So I'm okay with that. I'm not okay when it's going, oh, these people, and that's when they grandstand. They're all stupid, whatever. No. In fact, if you've ever seen me here online, when do I ban somebody? When do I throw somebody out? Only if they start attacking others. You see me, people insult me and I put it up here. I show, Larry, you're wrong, but I put it up here. People call me names. I put it up. I do. Absolutely. But you start calling somebody else names, making it worse for everybody, or trying to sell your stuff in my chat, you're gone. But yelling at me, that's fine. I accept that. If I can't take that, I shouldn't do what I'm doing. That's it. If I can't take you insulting me or tell me I'm wrong or call me a name, I should not be doing this. That's all I'm saying. So, yes. All righty. All right, see if I can grab a couple of these. All right. Peekaboo goes on to say, bring your own crowd. I wish I could all the time. And the funny part is I realized something, right? People like me more and care about me more when I'm either running for office or repping another candidate. That's when I like this Larry Sharpe guy, and they'll show up, whatever. When I'm not running, it's tough. Like, why would someone come see me when I'm not running? It's nice to see me. Yeah, they like me. Hey, talk, whatever, have a cup of coffee, whatever. It's nice. But you can just come on the show and do it too, right? So I'm glad when people come when I'm not running. I love it. If I get 2 people to come and I don't get mad, I'm like, good, 2 people came. If I get 25 people, I'm ecstatic, jumping up and down. I can't believe it. It's amazing. And sometimes I get 12, 15. There's times when I fill an entire place. It does happen. It just depends on when I'm going, how long in advance, where I am, that kind of stuff. Rochester is usually good for me. I think Rochester will be a very good showing, is my gut. Because I've gone to Rochester events, I've easily gotten 35, 40 people. Even when I'm not running, 25 people, 15 people. So it'll probably be a decent showing in Rochester. It usually is. Western New York tends to be better for me for several reasons. If I go to a place like Cattaraugus County or Chautauqua County, those of you who don't know New York, it's far west New York. Nobody else will goes there. You don't find other politicians who show up there. So I show up, they're like, oh, great. I tell this often. I go to some small towns and the mayor shows up. Why? Nobody else goes there. They're like, you're the only guy who ever showed up. So I get a big table, like 15 people. The mayor's at the table. Because, of course, in that small town, the mayor's also the fire chief and also the school teacher. But still, the mayor showed up. So it's still good. So it does happen sometimes. So anyway, that was kind of cool. Thank you for that one. All righty. I think I covered all those. All righty. Philly Girl says, I hope not. This is a part, Philly Girl, that I think does matter. It does matter. And if 170 million Americans use and like TikTok, that should matter a bit, right? It just should. There's probably a whole lot of people who think exactly like, why would you get rid of TikTok? For what? Why are you banning it? I like it. I'm going to use it. Now, I'm not a huge TikTok user. I have a TikTok account. I put stuff up there here or there, but I'm not really a good TikTok user, moving forward. I'm not very good at it. My team doesn't really like it that much, so we don't really do much in it, right? My team likes Twitter and Facebook. That's what my team likes. We're very active on those two. Now we're getting better on Rumble. Thank you, Liberty Lady. But that's what my team likes. So we don't really do much TikTok at all. It's not really a thing we do much of. But you shouldn't ban it or not ban it because I like it. But if 107 million New Yorkers like it, there we go. Americans like it, maybe you should. Joe says, would you visit a local food co-op? Of course, that's locally owned. Absolutely. And I have. Like I've gone to a farm and met people on a farm. Yes, a locally owned farm, 100%. I'll go almost any place as long as it's locally owned. I'll have an event and I'll promote it. Now, if I go to a farm, the reason I like a food co-op is people can go there and join the co-op and buy stuff. I want to promote local businesses. So if I go to a local farm, I want them to have a farm stand or something there, or a hay ride. Like I've gone to a place where it's in the fall and they got hay rides and they got corn mazes. So I'll go there. People can come in, bring their families. They see me talk. I yap for a bit and they go into the hay ride. They pay a couple bucks, go into corn, whatever. That's so as long as I think people are doing stuff. Yes, of course I'd go. 100%. 100%. Joseph goes on to say, would love to get a bunch of libertarians, liberty-minded and independents together to support you. I'm in the Chatham, Columbia County area. Let me know if and when you might be interested. I will, 100%. I will. Yes, 100%. And again, I'll start again early next year. I don't think I'm going to travel in January. I usually don't travel in December either because it's too damn cold. But I am this time. I usually do not travel in January. I don't start using until late February or March. And I'm not going North Country until April because North Country is cold. So yes. Alexa, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Of course. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. So that literally says, I'm a feedback type of person. I'm going to read your book and give you honest feedback. Maybe I should give you the first five. Got my F's messed up. Maybe I should give you the first 5 chapters. Once I'm done with the book, I don't need the feedback anymore, right? Because it's published. So I don't need it then. I need it before. I wanted people to tell me if it made sense, they cared. While the book is on happiness, it actually is autobiographical. It's about my life after I contemplated suicide. And that's what it's about. I start the book talking about me contemplating suicide. My life was so terrible. I was so unhappy and self-destructive that I was contemplating suicide. And I say that. Now, why would I publicly say that I contemplated suicide? Why would I say that? There are many reasons why I say it. One of them is most of us have at one point in our life. Not everybody does, but most of us have. At one point, I'd be like, should I just end this? Would it be better if I wasn't there? But not just that. I remember how I felt. I wrote about how I felt, what I thought about. And those of you who know me, one of the things I do is when people are sometimes in trouble, they will call me and ask me to reach out to somebody who's in trouble, who is about to take their own life. Well, I'm very good at talking people down from that. One of the reasons why is I am open about my own struggle with that. I'm open about what happened in my own life, and I share it with them. What most people do, and some of you, this may matter to you, some of it won't. I do a lot of veterans also. What most people do is when someone says, hey, Alexa, my life sucks, it's terrible. It'd be better if I wasn't here. Or they use them, which is much more common. They go, hey, Joseph, man, remember all those things that you like? You like those CDs I had, right? Why don't you take them? What? Yeah, take my CDs, man. I don't want them anymore. You don't want your CDs? None of them. Dude, you spent years collecting them CDs. I know. I don't want them anymore, man. They're yours. Well, now it's time to get scared. When they're calm about talking about deleting themselves, when they're calm, that's when you should be afraid. When they're not calm, they're full of it and they're looking for attention. I'm just going to do it. No, you're not. Stop. Stop. You're full of it. Stop. Yeah, I may not be here anymore next week. Okay, you're serious. When they're calm about self-deletion, you should be worried. You should be now talking to them. But what do most of us do? That's crazy, Larry. You have so much to live for. Now I feel worse. You've just made me feel worse. What I actually want to hear is, yeah, man, I get it. You just want to end this, don't you? Yeah, I do. Yeah, been there. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, you've got so much to live for. What about your family? I don't want to hear that. That actually makes me feel worse because now I feel ungrateful, which makes me feel worse. I'm obviously a horrible person now because I feel ungrateful. What a piece of garbage I am. Why am I alive? And you've invalidated my feelings. So now I'm stupid too. Oh my God, everything about me is bad. You know what? I was right to off myself. Off I go. So I do a lot of that. One of the reasons why I talk about it is I want people to understand it's okay to think about that. It's okay to have that conversation with yourself. Doesn't mean that you should do it. It's valid to feel that way. And many of us have. And I bring that up in the book. I say it off the bat. And then I go into how you can actually move yourself from wanting to be self-destructive to being happy. And understand that it isn't about substances. It isn't about pleasure. It's about actual happiness. Right? There's a big difference between pleasure and happiness. Pleasure is fleeting. Pleasure is often by yourself or felt only internally. Right? Pleasure can be dealt with a substance or at one action or activity. Happiness is overall. Happiness is long lasting. Not forever. You will lose your happiness. No one stays happy forever. Right? No one does. No one does. That's a fantasy. No one does. But you can be happy. Happiness always involves others. No exception. Now, it doesn't have to involve the world. No, that's not required. Happiness can involve two people, or three or four, or 50, 100. Doesn't matter. But it always involves more than one. And no substance and no action can give you happiness. None. It is something bigger. Anyway, I went a bit long on that. I have a habit of doing that. So thank you for that. Maybe I will see the first 5 chapters. Maybe I will. I gotta find them again. I haven't. I literally printed them out and had a cover. I had my daughter do a cover page. My daughter's an artist. She did a cover page for us, like a 5-page folder, And it's not five chapter folder. I gave it out. Then nobody said a word. So anyway, now I think maybe I'm better. Maybe I'm a better writer than I thought. I thought it was terrible. So yeah. Anyway, the AC. Well, I think the argument is that once they have that established trusted pipeline with the algorithm, then who knows what they're going to put in there. This goes back to my point, AC, about it being transparent. At least if it's transparent, everyone knows what's happening and you can talk about it. It's something, I guess. So that's why I'm kind of there. So let me grab another comment from Rumble. Straight Dan says, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Yep. That kind of thing definitely helps people to understand it, right? To now talk to you, right? Some of you may not, I've told this story often. One of the toughest ones for me, the toughest one, it's the toughest. I had two tough ones. The toughest one was the guy is literally in the hotel room with the, I don't want to say the word, with the pew, with the long range hole puncher in his hand. Phone with me, other thing in his hand. He's in a hotel room because he's going to a hotel room to finish, right? He's going to go to a hotel room and just finish it and do it there. How do we know this happened? But not, some of you are going to get this. He basically said goodbye on Facebook. He told people goodbye on Facebook. I didn't see that. People who know me on my team saw it and were like, all right, call this guy. I never talked to the guy before. He just knew who I was. I never talked to the guy before. So I call him. He picks the phone. I said, Lars, how are you doing? He said, We started talking for a few minutes, blah, blah. I said, let me ask you, man, is there a chair in the hotel room? He goes, yeah, it's a chair. I said, okay, where's the gun right now? I said the word, sorry. Where's the thing right now? Hope I don't get banned for that one. Where's the thing right now? He goes, in my hand. So do me a favor. Put it on the bed and go sit in the chair. He said, what? I repeated. I said, put it, I said the word, on the bed and go sit in the chair. I want to talk to you. He said, okay. And he did it. And he sat down. That was the closest. The second one was a guy was in his truck. He had put this one's splatters, the pump. He had that one. He had put it in his mouth. He was going to take care of himself in the truck. That's what he was going to do it. And he did it, stopped because he forgot to say some stuff on Facebook. Facebook has like saved people. It's insane. So he stopped. He was ready to do it. Went, oh, no. Oh, God, I didn't say the thing. Oh, I didn't tell people. Whatever he had to say, I forgot what he had to say, whatever. Again, I didn't see this. Someone told me, right? So he goes on Facebook and says his final things. Guy calls me up. Call him. So same thing. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't know that had happened. He told me that afterwards. So I didn't know where the pew was at the time. He didn't tell me that. I didn't know. I thought he was just sitting in his truck. I didn't know that. He told me afterwards. No, he had it in his mouth. I was like, okay, we lucked out on that one. So anyway, this is why I bring it up. It's why I open it up and talk about it. Straight end is correct. It does matter. So, alrighty, peace. Thank you for the $10, my friend. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I've contemplated suicide. Yes, I think most people have. I don't think I'm crazy saying that. I think not everyone does, of course, but many people have, of course. Even on recent days, I've thought about it. We need to pay attention to our mental health. You nailed it. Calm, Dean. Why? Yeah, your love. Yes. It does matter. When someone's yelling and screaming about it, they're not really serious. I don't mean to be cruel, but when people do that, I will often yell at them right back because I know they're full of it. You start getting calm, giving stuff away, talking nicely about it. I'm like, okay, you and I need to have a sit down. When can I come see you? Like I'm scheduling something. You and I, yeah, we're scheduling something. And the weird part, this is way off topic, but one of the weird parts is veterans tend to be different about this. Veterans often respond to orders. I know, like if I ordered something, you do this, they go, who the hell are you? I say it to a veteran, they're like, okay. They're like, respond to it. It's like a way of like, okay, because you ordered me, I'll do it. I have no control over you. I was a staff sergeant 30 years ago. I don't have any power over you, right? I have none. But very often they kind of want someone to be there to have that authority. They kind of want it, if that makes any sense. So they happily take it. Like, yeah, okay. They happily take it. So yeah. All righty. Let me keep going down here. I know I went way off topic, guys. I apologize, but you give me this stuff. I'm gonna blame you, D. That's your fault, D. You did it. That's your fault. All righty. All righty. Sarah says, I hope no social media gets banned, but that censorship is somehow stopped. I'm interested in limiting social media and cell phone for kids. What do you all think? That's my point, Sarah. I think you're on the same page. That's a far more important issue for me, is trying to not get the kids trashed, right? Because you see how it is crushing them. Crushing them to the point where some of them are fighting back because they're getting so smashed. So yes, 100%. So the AC says, I think that it would be reasonable to have some universities or security companies here reverse engineer all of that to make sure there aren't any hidden things. I'm not against it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Right? Look, if you're at least going to say, hey, we care about the money. That's what we care about. If we're going to put an algorithm that if people click the buy button, then we're going to put your stuff up front. We don't care if it's good. We don't care if it's bad. We care if people click the buy button. Okay, I may not like that, but now I know how this works and I can make a decision on my own. Do I want to engage? Do I not? And if I do, I know how to. I know the rules of the game. But when you go, no, it's about freedom or something, and they only care about the buy button, well, what are you doing? Tell me what you care about. You care about the buy button. I got it. I can now decide what I want to do. That piece is very important to me. It's when I talk about, it's off topic, but it's on topic. When I'm a business trainer and I talk about compensation for people, very often the leaders who put in the compensation packages talk about what is fair, what makes the most sense for the business model, and they can come up with all these different, rules and regulations on how to make it happen. I'm like, that's all wonderful. That's all wonderful, but it needs to be transparent. What do you mean? It has to be easy to understand. Yeah, but we have to worry about this and that. I said, it doesn't matter. If your compensation is not transparent, it will seem unfair. If they don't get how it works and it seems to come up short, they will never trust you. Make it transparent. Even if it isn't fair, make it transparent first, and then you can discuss what fair is. So the problem is what you think is fair, I don't think is fair. What Pinkerbell thinks is fair, Sarah thinks is fair. So let's make it transparent, and then we can always discuss what fair is. But if I'm hiding stuff, they go, don't worry, Sarah, it's totally fair. See, when you add to 5 and put it and wait till next Tuesday, and it's what? Okay, I guess it's fair. Then you thought you were getting $1,000 and you got 900. You're like, whoa. Now we're all fighting. Same concept here, transparent. Andrew says, how is this transparency to be enforced? To be forward, as I said, guilty on this, Andrew. I haven't gone down the road on this. This would be a federal law, which I haven't run for federal office. So I haven't gone down the road on how you do that. I'm not really 100% sure on that. Guilty as charged on that one. It's a concept. My gut says you'd follow something like what AC is talking about. It is somehow engineered by maybe universities or something, or maybe in theory, generally speaking, what could be true. Again, I don't have the actual answer, but in theory, you could just have it be done by accounting companies with their CEOs who are going to have to be compliant with the law, so that if they get into trouble, they get in real trouble. So something like that, right? They sign a contract with the government. 3 or 4 of them have to, audit or something like that. And if they're found to be fraudulent, the CEOs can get in trouble. Now, I'm saying the CEO of the company of the actual social media company isn't necessarily in trouble as long as they fix it. But if the CEO of the auditing company is corrupt or wrong or bad, they go to jail because they have a contract with the government and they are licensed by the government. So something like that could work. If that makes any sense. Like the people who audit the lotteries and such, right? Those types of things. That you could do it. You'd have to have multiple contracts. It could be done. So yeah, I hope that answers your question at least. So Adrian's on my side. She goes, transparency is the key, protecting the speech. Yes, and yes. 100%. Yes. Let me grab a couple of these if I could. Mark says, Australia didn't pass the law. Oh, they didn't pass it. Okay. I knew they were looking at it then. Okay, man, I didn't realize that. But yeah, AC said they did pass it. I don't know if they passed it, but the concept it was under 16. They couldn't use social media. And to be forward, I'm not mad at that. If they pass it, I'm not mad. I mean, it's Australia. They'll pass any law that will just kind of punish their people. They don't care. They'll punish their people for anything. So you'll eat turkey. They charge you if you don't vote in Australia. It's a law you have to vote if you don't to pay a fine. They fine you for not voting in Australia. So I'm not saying Mark is wrong. I maybe didn't pass it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do pass it. I wouldn't be surprised if they passed it and said, if you use it, we're going to punish you and your parents and your grandparents. That's right in line with Australia. So would not be surprised. So Picklebell says, children being monetized, like in family blogging content, should be protected the same way child actors are, like the Coogan law. I got to tell you, I'm also not against that too. And you would think, well, Larry, you're a libertarian. You want too many laws. No. Consenting adults should do what they see fit. Absolutely. If you are a consenting adult, you do as you see fit. You're a kid, well, you're not consenting, obviously. So you're either a kid or not consenting. No. Libertarianism is for consenting adults, not for kids. I'm with you 100%. I'm not mad at that. And I know that some libertarians are like, that's mad. It's parental. No. I'm not mad at that. I'm okay with that. Absolutely. So, yeah, absolutely. Some people are probably mad at me right now. So, how dare you say that? Yeah. Joel says, my 18-year-old daughter changed the flip phone also. It's getting bigger. It is. It's getting bigger. Absolutely. Sarah says, Larry's just winning on all levels. His daughter chooses a flip phone. I am starting to win, Sarah. Yeah, I'm winning. There we go. Mark goes on to say, people have privacy concerns with age verification systems. Valid point, Mark. This is valid point. These systems require everyone to register so that governments can track them. Valid point. I agree with you. I think that's an issue. I'm not sure we have an answer for this yet. My point, though, is if we're looking for it, we can find one. We can find one. And it could be maybe even locally, right? It could even be just company to company. The people are saying the reason why some of the people like Zuckerberg are coming around now all of a sudden is because they're scared of Trump or whatever. I don't think that's true. I could be wrong. I think it's true. I think as many people do not like Elon Musk, I get it. I think Elon Musk has sometimes in the past, and sometimes even now, been hypocritical in things he said and done. Agreed. No argument for me on that. But here's the big thing. Elon Musk told the government no. He went and bought Twitter and said, I'm not playing your game. Then he trashed 75% of the people there, and it still worked. And in the long run, he's still winning a bunch of money, making a bunch of money. Why does that matter? Well, Larry, another billionaire. I don't care about him. I don't care about Elon Musk. I don't care about him. I don't. But what it did was now Zuck goes, oh, wait, I don't have to do what the FBI says? Then I can put me in jail? I can tell them no and just go public and be okay? Oh, my God. Yes. I don't think Zuckerberg, and I'm not a Zuckerberg fan, clearly. He screwed me over royally in Facebook. I put thousands of dollars into a Facebook page years ago, tens of thousands of dollars into a NeoSage, my consulting company, as you see behind me, NeoSage, my consulting company. And they banned my entire page, took everything away with no recourse whatsoever. Just did it. Gone. None. Go to hell. Thousands. They trashed me more than once. But I don't think Zuckerberg did it because, I want to punish people. I think Zuckerberg did it because he was honestly afraid. When the FBI came a knocking, he thought, oh my God, they're going to crush my company. They're either going to put me in jail physically, myself, or then destroy my company, or Congress will destroy my company. I think he believed it. I think YouTube and Google believed it. People, libertarians say this, and they're wrong on this. They go, who's more powerful? Elon Musk or the president? I say Elon has far more power. No, he doesn't. Ask Vladimir Putin. Ask Xi Jinping. The guy who has the most power is the guy who can take everything away from you and put you in jail. That's the guy who has the most power. Ask the Chinese oligarchs who pissed off Xi. Ask the Russian oligarchs who pissed off Putin and had accidents. Yeah. Or in some gulag now. 100%. So Zuckerberg was scared. I think many of them were like, they're going to take us out. We got to be good. And Elon said, no, you don't have to. Make it public. Do what you want. And I was like, oh, okay. I think it was self-preservation. I don't think he was being mean. I think Zuck was like, I don't lose my company. I don't lose my status. That's what I believe. I don't have any data on this, but I think it's true. Which means if that happens, Mark, hopefully, I could be wrong, hopefully, companies will go, oh, no, I'm not just giving my stuff over to you. Yeah, I'm not giving myself over for you. I'm not doing it. No, I'm going to keep it. That's what I hope happens. That is my hope, Mark. I could be wrong, but that's my hope. So, yeah. Straight End says, Zuck was afraid until RFK Jr. started winning the Kennedy versus Biden lawsuit. Yes, valid point, Straight End. Right? When RFK Jr. sued Biden, saying he literally, told social media to keep him off, told me to keep him up, and won the case in federal court, Zuck was like, oh, I am so out. I don't have to buy nothing. Elon's fighting, RFK's winning. I'm good. And that's what I think happened. So again, whether you like Elon or not, I think that was very valuable for us. So yes. P says, when are you an adult? Maybe take a test. To think the age of 18 is an adult automatically is stupid. This is a hard part, right? And it's another great point. Are there people who are mature at 17? Yes. Are there people who aren't mature at 25? Yes. So how do you decide when an adult is? Sadly, government has to pick an age, right? A government draws lines, and they're not always good. Your point's a valid one. I would argue that you're not an adult at 18. You're not an adult till you're 21. Why? You can't drink till you're 21. Some places can't smoke till you're 21. Well, if you can't make a decision on smoking and drinking, how are you an adult? You're not. So I would argue that in today's society, we have already decided you're not an adult till 21. By default, we've decided this already. So for those who don't know, you go back 50 years, you'd be 21 to vote. 20 years, I don't know, 60, 40 years? 60, hold on, 1972? Is that right? 72? I think 72. So that's what, 50 years? You go back 50 some odd years, you had to be 21 to vote. I think we've decided it. The reason why it's 18 everywhere is because of the Vietnam War. That's the reason. Because their argument was a solid argument, which was if you can send 8-year-olds, 18-year-olds to die in a war, you can't tell them they can't vote. You can't tell them they can't drink, they can't smoke. Yeah, that's why it was 18. And they were right. The average age of the soldier in World War II was 26 or 27. The average age of a soldier in Vietnam was 19. Average 19. Yes. How were they young? I'll give you a little trivia point. If you've ever seen the movie Apocalypse Now, there's a young actor who plays a soldier there, Lawrence Fishburne. Yes. Morpheus from The Matrix. In that movie, he plays a soldier. He's 14 years old in that movie. The actor is 14 years old. He played a soldier in Vietnam. That is how young they were bringing people in Vietnam. Yeah, that's it. So Straight End, I think, is done. 9 o'clock, he's out. He says, thanks for the content. Thank you for the $5, my friend. I hope that was interesting content for you. But yes, your point is a valid one, Piece. How do we decide who is an adult or not? We have to pick a number. But I think we are deciding that it's 21. We just are. Think about it. You could be on in Obamacare, you could be on your parents' insurance fee 25. Right? But we can still draft. By the way, you can join the military at 17. You just cannot go into a combat zone till you're 18. So they can train you at 17. They can't kill you till you're 18. Then you could die. And they might go, well, that's normal. No. Look at the Ukraine-Russia war. Ukraine and Russia, Eastern Europe thinks differently about this than we think in the West. In the West, we think of, well, send the young guy because the older guy has kids. He's a father. He has kids. Don't send him. Send the young guy who has no kids. They think the opposite. They think send the old guy. He's already had kids. The young guy hasn't had life yet. Don't send him. I'm not joking. The people fighting the Ukraine war the average age is in its 30s or 40s. This is real. They haven't lowered the age to draft in Ukraine down to 18. The lowest is 25, I think. It's 25. I think it's the lowest. You can't be the youngest you can be drafted in Ukraine is 25 years old. You can't draft you if you're 18, 19, 20. They don't draft you. And they're at war with the Russians. They can't draft you at that age. They think completely differently than we do. Just interesting trivia for you guys. Always going to give you something new and interesting to talk about. So, yes. All right. Okay. Okay. Something odd. Live stream buffered and all internet dropped at the same time. So phone and other down. Anyone's have it happen to them? Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. Sarah says, yes, Mike, it happened twice. Wow. I don't see it, but maybe that's just me. I don't know where it is. Yeah. I don't actually know. Yeah. All righty. Dark Omantis says, from what I've heard, there are certain people talking on certain subjects on TikTok that isn't in favor of what the elites want to put out. So they want to ban TikTok so that domestic propaganda can be maintained. That actually sounds perfect to me. I don't know if it's true. Totally believable. Totally believable. Totally believable. Yes. But I don't know if that's true. Yeah. Pickleball says, my parents need to adopt using flip phones, Lordy. You know what? Flip phones aren't necessarily a bad thing. It's up to you, right? I'm okay with them. So nice. Pickleball also goes on to say, I'm sitting 4 feet away from very touchable grass. Go touch the grass then. Don't just sit there. So she says, but instead I'm in the shed smoking grass. Also good. I think you can do both. You can both do that. Yes. Yes. Joel says, Biden's considering a preemptive pardon for TikTok. You know what? It's not a bad idea. Biden, do that one. Spread the love out. I think it's a great idea. Spread that love out. I love that. Yes. Mike says, yeah, computer net's still down. Something just happened. It's widespread. Oh, I don't know. It hasn't happened to me. But yeah, it hasn't happened to me. So maybe it's happening. I don't see it. As I'm looking at Rumble. Rumble's still good. I'm looking here. I still see it as, according to what I'm seeing, it's still on everywhere. So, yeah. Yacy says, Trump changed his mind on TikTok after having dinner with one of their major investors. I forget. You do with that what he will. You know, that seems simple, but that could be. But to be forward, the investor may not. I don't know. So I'm being clear. I don't know. But it may not be about money. It's possible it's about something else. Power, transfer, change, other things, political influence. It could be about something else, right? A major investor in TikTok may have other things they care about than just money, if that makes any sense, AC. They could care about something else. And maybe that could be a connection. Could be that too. So I wouldn't assume that it's cash. It might be cash. Trump is not some kind of saint, right? He's not by any way. So maybe, but I'm just saying it could be something else. So yeah. Sarah says, Maha update, my organic grain supplier sends price increases every December. We just got our first price decrease, 200 less per ton. Maha, I want to say yes. I do too. In fact, I'm going to tell everybody yes. I'm just going to say that's what it is. Yes. Yes. I like that. That's amazing. Good for you, Sarah. That's amazing. I love that. That is good. There we go. So Adrian says, we could at least keep the Bill of Rights, which some groups of people don't even seem to value anymore. I'm going to tell you, Adrian, and by the way, thank you again for being a member. I agree with you completely on this. I think the Bill of Rights is a critical piece that so many people don't even think about it at all. They take it for granted. They say it's outdated. And don't get me wrong, one of them is the Third Amendment's kind of outdated. We don't want to keep British troops in our homes. Okay, the third one's kind of outdated, but it's fine, right? And then people always say, well, the second is, you couldn't have like machine guns. No, but you could literally own a battleship. I'm not joking. You literally could own a battleship. In the 1800s, when this was coming out, you could own a battleship. How do we know that? Because we actually hired privateers which is what a privately owned battleship is. So you could actually own a battleship if you wanted to. That was the you could own. Now, obviously, there are probably some rules on where you could fire your cannons in your battleship, but you could own a battleship. You could own cannon. You can't own a tank. You could own a battleship. Did people own cannons? Yes. People did own cannons. I don't know why they would use them, but people did. How do we know? Because we had militias. So people did own those things. So the Second Amendment also not outdated at all. Not outdated. So anyway, third is kind of outdated. Anyway, Garrett says, gifted 1 membership. Larry Sharpe, thank you so much, Garrett. Guys, please grab the membership if you could. If membership matters, thank you, Garrett. I appreciate the help tremendously. Thank you so much. So yes. All righty. That Liberty Lady D says, Larry Sharpe came to Jacksonville, Florida to support our 3 candidates. Larry's that kind of guy. He didn't have to come down here. That's why Larry's a Liberty mentor. He walks the walk. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, I do. And I try my best to support people. I do. I try to support people that I can. If I'm gonna tell you that you got to do well when you step up, I got to step up too. All the time I say that. I step up, you got to step up. 100%. Yes. All righty. Let's see here if I can grab some of these. All righty. P says 170 million people like cocaine. You need to understand why somebody likes something. Yes. And to be forward, I don't want to ban cocaine, Peace. I don't want to ban that either. So my point here being, I know a lot of people do want to ban cocaine. I don't. Why do I not want to ban cocaine? All right. If 170 million people like cocaine, I don't know if that's true, but for the sake of argument, it's true, right? And I get rid of cocaine, what are you going to do? Something worse. How do I know that? That's what's happening, right? One of the horrible things about the drug war is meth. If you've known people who've been on meth, you know how bad it is, right? Where did meth come from? Well, it's people making, no. Meth came because cocaine is expensive. I'm not joking. Again, you guys know what I do for a living. I deal with a lot of people here in New York. Many of them are wealthy. Many of them are in the finance world or lawyers, whatever the case may be. And many of them do drugs. It's true. Are they in trouble in the corner? They're not. Are they getting arrested? They're not. Why? Are they even addicts, most of them? No, some of them are. Most of them are not even addicts. Why? They do expensive drugs. I'm not joking. The thing that has become more popular recently has been snorting Adderall. But, they'll do cocaine. And they'll just do the drugs. And they're okay. But, well, now I can't afford cocaine. Why? It's expensive. What am I going to do? Meth. Now what do I do? Fentanyl. Yes. You ban cocaine, you get meth. You ban cocaine, you get fentanyl. So, no thank you. Don't want to ban it. To your point, let's understand why they like it, help them to get through it, and maybe help them find something better. That would be nice. Most people who are doing cocaine, not all, but most doing stuff like that, they're not looking for happiness. They're looking for pleasure. In fact, if you have happiness, think about this for a moment. The more happiness you have, the less pleasure you seek. Let me say it again. The more happiness you have, the less pleasure you seek. When you are unhappy, you are constantly seeking pleasure because you're unhappy. That's the reason. People tease me all the time, Larry, why are you so square? Right? I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I'm not against it. Clearly, I don't want to outlaw it at all, but I don't do any of those things. Not my thing. I've been on keto 14 years. I don't eat sugar, right? So I don't do any of those things. Why not? Because I found a way to be happy. I rarely seek pleasure. If that makes any sense. I don't even try to go out and have like expensive meals. I don't even buy expensive clothes. I wear the same shit every day. I don't do that. I do seek pleasure. We all do. But compared to many people, hardly at all. Why? Because I'm pretty happy. The less happy you are, the more pleasure you will seek. The happier you are, the less pleasure you'll seek. But you will seek pleasure. We all seek pleasure. But you will see it. I hope that makes sense for you guys. I don't know if did I go too deep on that one? Sometimes I go deep. I don't know if some of you don't like it or not, but anyway. So, Christine, thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Christine. I really appreciate it. It's awesome. So, yes. All righty. I'll walk down some of these. Mark says the aim seems to be to register everyone under the guise of protecting children, but it's more effective to provide kids with phones that can't access the internet. Ooh. See, Mark, I like the way you're thinking. I think you're right. I think you're right. The private sector should have an answer for that. And if you have transparency, I think more parents would understand it, get it, and would maybe act accordingly. Not easy to do, but I think you're right. Yes. Sarah says, I made a joke about you, IC, because Larry said he never bans people. Boy, do we know better. Okay. Now you start in trouble with me. Now you start in trouble. Okay. Missy isn't here to defend herself. The team made an error and then fixed the error. How about that? There we go. That's what I'll say. I'll let Missy yell at you later about that. So she can't be here this evening. So Missy isn't here. She can't be here this year. So yes. All righty. AC says, I'd heard about the law in Australia and it being 16. Honestly, don't remember whether it passed or not. Yeah, I don't remember either if it passed. I remember it too. I think someone told me it. I think someone told me it passed. Or maybe I saw it in some podcast or something. So yeah, absolutely. Paula says, Elon, if you're watching, we love you on the Sharpe Way and would love for you to ask Larry for an interview. Paula is correct, Elon. If you are watching, yes, absolutely. Yes. So Pickerbell says, I hope we see generational backlash to the idea of being available and surveyed 24/7, and it results in normalization, that kind of thing. Flip phones, not being on social media, making things. I'm going to tell you something, Pickerbell, and this has helped me tremendously with my children. And if you're a parent, I will give you my opinion on what you should tell your children. Clearly, your children do what you see fit. This is my opinion. I've told my two daughters since they were little, you must always be creating something. I don't care what it is. You must create. And as they began to create things, whatever it was, I jumped on board immediately. It's one reason my daughter now is a cartoonist, because her creation was artwork, which I didn't get. That wasn't always. She had different things. She had to create this, create that. I didn't care what it was. My youngest one likes writing. So she write stuff. She'd write a story. I'd read her stories with her. I'd sit with her. She would I'd read stuff. She started journaling. So I'd read her journals with her when she wanted me to, obviously. I wouldn't go into her books, but whatever. So I had them create. And I would always say, what'd you make today? What'd you make? What do you mean, Dad? What'd you make? What'd you make? Did you make something? I didn't make anything. So you threw your day away? You threw your day away today. You threw your day? I would act that way. And whatever they would make, I'd be happy that they made it. Now, if I don't like it, I wouldn't lie and say it was awesome if it wasn't awesome. I'm not that kind of dad. But I would be happy they made it and tell them how amazing it is. And I always want them to create. And I would tell my daughters to this day, in today's world, everyone in your peer group is a consumer. Most of them are super consumers. They just rot and sit and consume. They either consume plastic goodies for some reason, or they consume internet stuff for some reason, but they just consume. So I don't mind if you're a consumer. I'm a consumer too. But you also have to be a creator. Have to be both. Because if you don't create, you will just be a consumer. And the world wants you to be a consumer. But if you're a creator also, you can move forward. It doesn't matter what you create. Right? I create live content. I create classes. I write books. I create things. It doesn't matter. It can be physical. It can be, I create hamburgers for people to purchase. Still, it doesn't matter. That's physical. I make furniture. Physical. Awesome. I write books, literature. Good. Doesn't matter. You must be creating something. You become a YouTube star. Don't care. Create something. Now, what happens is now it's got my daughters thinking about it. So my oldest daughter she actually tailors her own clothes now. Tailors her own clothes. Buys a shirt, doesn't like it, tailors it. She's like, Dad, can I buy a sewing machine? Yes. I bought her a sewing machine immediately because I thought she'll make stuff. Make stuff. I don't care what it is. Just make stuff, right? So do it. Absolutely. So now she'll tailor her own clothes. My youngest one journals and writes and now does dance moves, whatever. I don't care. She makes stuff. Make a dance. I don't care. Make stuff. You've got to create. I agree with you completely, Pickerbell. We have to be making things. I don't care what those things are. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck into this world, and the world is trying its damnedest to make us all just consumers. It's sadly, it's winning, right? It's trying and it's winning. We have to fight back. I don't mind us consuming. I consume too. I like consuming, right? I think it's fun. I enjoy it. And I create. We should all do both. Consume and create. It doesn't matter what we create. We just have to create. Joseph says, I create freedom and joy and vibes. Now, do you create them or do you just talk trash on my show? See, are you really creating or are you talking trash? Now, don't be wrong. I love you talking trash, so don't stop that. But do you actually create? I don't know. I want some vibes from you. I haven't felt one yet. I need to feel a vibe, Joe. Got to feel a lot. Got to feel a vibe. So, yes, I love that. All righty. Let's see here. I'll grab a couple more if we can. People says, yeah, why do you think I'm sewing now? Yes. I love it. It's great. I love it. The AC says, like I said, it was the Cash Patel nomination that got Joe Biden to pardon Hunter. He knew that the plan was for revenge. He even made the pardon for everything in 2014. Yeah, that was, yeah, I talked about the other night. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. I do think he was worried. But the part that does bother me about it is he wasn't before. He thought he could scam. He thought he could scam. Yes. Sarah says Larry's a monk. Maybe. I don't, like, I used to tease people and I would say, people, and I actually did it on, if you saw my Joe Rogan interview, he was mad because I don't do drugs. He was like, now I don't know if I trust you. He's like, you don't do nothing? I said, I'm nothing. I'm the only, and another part is funny. I said the same thing when I was on Glenn Beck's show. And I said, you know, the only people squarer than me are Mormons because I use caffeine and Mormons don't use caffeine. So, and he's like, you know what religion I'm in? I know you're a Mormon. So he's a Mormon. He's square. Glenn Beck is squarer than me. So, but I'm pretty square, Sarah. You're right. I am. But the most important piece, though, is you will hear me say this all the time. Just because I think I don't want to do something, that means it's good for me, not for you. You should do what you want, right? I mean, I know I'm late on my keto show. I know I'm still going to do it. But my keto show, I love keto. You don't see me telling everybody you need to be on keto. You got to be on keto. I don't say that. The keto lifestyle works for me. I love it. I'm very happy I'm doing it. Should everybody do it? No, of course not. You should do it if you think it's right for you. Then be on keto. If not, don't. Same thing, right? So, yes, I'm a monk. That's fine. I don't mind. I wear a hoodie like a monk, right? So, yes, I'm a monk. It's true. I am. Any case. All righty. Let me grab through some of these if I can. There's so many of these. I do appreciate it. So, Christine says, does TikTok have parental settings? You know, I don't know. It's a good question. IC says too, I don't know, Chrissy. I don't have used it. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't really use it that much. And when I use it, probably someone on my team's using it. So I think somebody else is, you know, my team has access to many of my things. So often they will do that. So yeah. AC says, under capitalism, anything that we do that is consuming is bad for the economy. That's why billionaires are bad for the economy. They just can't consume as much as we could with that same money. Under capitalism, anything we do that is consuming is bad for the economy. That's why billionaires are bad for the economy. They just can't consume as we could with that same money. Not sure where you're going with that one. Billionaires can be bad for an economy. It depends upon where they and how they invest. They can be good for an economy too. It depends upon where and how they invest. If they take their money and invest it, say what has happened is they take American money and invest it overseas, clearly doesn't help us, right? Have billionaires helped some people get out of poverty? Yes, that's true. Some have. Most of them have been in places like China, Africa, things of that sort. Have they helped Americans? No. Not Americans, but they've helped some others. I guess you look at it that way. I think it depends on where they spend it. I'm not sure I see the automatic piece. I could see it. So yes. Andrew says, I don't know a single person who doesn't consume, only plants that consume. Well, plants consume too. But yes, I think we do consume. All I'm saying is we have to also create. That's it. And it says, I used to create wreaths, quilts, and such. I'm out of room for all this stuff. I like that. Yes. Joel says creating problems does not count. True. Does not count, Joel. Does not count. Absolutely. 100%. Roy says we need apps that provide the value of social creation, but they're addictive and spyware properties. Apps that provide the value of social creation that are addictive. That's a hard one. I see your point. But then how do I motivate the person to create if there isn't a way for them to get an audience to watch and enjoy what they create? Right? Don't we want to find that balance, right? So you make the cool, I don't know, video on how to pick a lawyer. I like that idea for you. You start making, videos on that. Don't we want a way for people to rush in and see, oh, I got to pick a lawyer. Let me call Roy. He's got his cool TikToks and tells you how to pick a lawyer. Just go to his TikToks and figure it out. Don't we want that? I get the spyware part we don't need. I'm with you on that. But again, this goes back to my transparency. If we have the transparency and you know what it's doing, at that point, number one, you can maybe decide no, or it makes it easy for a competitor to go, I'm going to do the thing, but no spyware. Well, how do we know if it was spyware? Again, we're looking at it, it's open source. How do I know? I have some form of audit that I trust, which again, I haven't clarified that one part yet. I'm weak on that part. But anyway, the audit thing that I'm going to make up one day to be awesome. That part, when we have that audits them. And then we know that they don't have the spyware thing. And if you, Roy, say, look, I don't care if they got spyware. I want to put my videos out and I'll take the spyware. You can choose that. Or we have the other one that says no spyware. So I think we could fix it. I think we could. But again, challenging. Like Mark, yes. VA says, I love keto too. Yes, big fan. Alexa says, Mormons allow it now. They changed it. Oh, my grandparents and family are Mormons, so I guess you're more square. Well, I'm as square as Mormons now. Okay, thank you, Alexa. I guess I feel better. I'm not sure. Do I feel better? Yeah. I'm as square as Mormons now because we get to use coffee. There we go. Pinkerbell, thank you for being a member, says, I create lots of stuff, none of it useful to anyone but me, but I'm fine with that. Me too, Pinkerbell. Creation is a mindset. You don't have to make money in your creations. It's nice if you do. Don't get me wrong. I like making money, clearly, right? I book you guys to, super chat and whatever. Of course. Yeah, I like making money. Don't get me wrong. But you don't have to do that. It's not required. It's a mindset. Life is habits. That's what life is. If you have habits that are not so good, you increase the odds of you having failure. You still may be successful, just lucky, it's possible. But you increase the odds of you failing. If you have good habits, you increase the odds of being successful. You still may fail. You're not guaranteed to be successful. But if you have good habits, you increase your odds of having better things. Creation's a habit, Pinkerbell. And what it means is, by default, you start to want to be self-reliant. You also have a higher chance of wanting to solve problems. You also have a higher chance of taking responsibility for things. All these types of habits of creation are a personality piece, right? Your habits become your personality. I was teasing, I say, discipline is a muscle. You have to exercise it. I fast once every month or two, just for a couple of days. Why? Discipline. I will say things I'm going to do. Why? Discipline. I'm trying to do 20 shows in a row. Why? Discipline. Right? I'm going to be able to do it. But again, this is a habit. It is my personality. So think about whether you make any money or give to anybody else, it's a habit. So now all of a sudden you get into a spot where you want to give someone a gift. You're unable to either get one or you're out of cash or whatever. You might just make one. Why? Your habit. You'll find a solution. These are good habits to have. I push creation because it's a good habit. You will find yourself being better in other things. Jean says, I started sewing around the age of 10. There we go. At the age of 50, I saved about $1,200 when I sewed my own wedding dress. I got the exact dress I wanted, tailored exactly to my body. Well done, Jean. Well done. That's amazing. I love that. Yes, that's good. Sarah says, I'm the same, Larry. Let me be boring, but everyone else do what makes you happy. Bingo. Yes. Bingo. Yes. Completely agreed. Completely agreed. Pigabus says, I downloaded TikTok once, got overwhelmed in 40 seconds. Deleted that, deleted that promptly. What's funny about TikTok is, to me, it does seem I'm similar. Like, I can only watch for a little bit of time. I can't keep doing TikTok. Like, it's just too much for me. Maybe I'm old. I don't know. But it's too much. I'm with you. People are like, I can watch for a little bit, then I'm done. I'm like, as far as I can go. I can't do that. The AC goes and say, billionaires keep their money in banks. If people had money, they'd spend it. I think that's so. I know a couple of billionaires, not many of them, but a couple, and not well. Like, they're not my buddies. I wish that was true. I wish I had more billionaire buddies. I don't. I feel like that's not totally true. Many of them keep their money in assets, not banks. Many of them keep the money in assets. And the way they get around paying taxes is they borrow against the asset. So for those who don't know how that works, I buy a very large asset. I'm a billionaire. So I buy a building, or I buy a massive yacht, or I buy something big, some asset I buy. I don't pay taxes on my money. So if I take the money from my business and I then buy something with some asset with it, well, it's a business expense. So I scam a bit on taxes on that. And then if I sell the asset to spend the money, well, I got to pay taxes on that because I sold the asset. So I got to pay capital gains tax. Well, so I don't sell the asset. I just keep the asset there and I borrow against the asset. So I go to my friend AC and I say, hey, man, you're a banker. He goes, yeah. I'm going to borrow some money. He goes, okay, what's your collateral? How about my boat? How about my building? You go, oh, I love that building. That thing's worth like $1 gazillion. Yeah. Can I borrow, like, I don't know, $200 million against it? You go, yeah, take $200 million. No worries. So I pay him back a small amount of interest, but no tax on it. It's not income. So AC gets some interest, which is far less than I pay in taxes. And I spend money. Whatever. And I can pay it back because I have tons of investments who are actually bringing money in. So the money that comes in, I just pay back AC, which is far less. The percentage, the interest he charges me is way less than tax would be. So he makes some extra cash and I can spend my money without paying taxes. So I think a lot of billionaires keep it in assets. But some in banks too. Yeah, but I think a lot of assets too. And then they do a lot of other investments. The issue is they'll often do it. So for example, I'll take a loan out on my building and I'll take loan to UAC and you get your cut every month. So you're happy as can be. And if something goes wrong, you take my building. Nothing's going to go wrong. I'm a billionaire. So nothing's going to go wrong. But if something went wrong, you take my building. So you're totally happy to do it. You love giving me money. I come to you like every month for money and you're happy to give it to me. And then I invest it in something else. I take that $200 million, I invest in something else. That makes money. Well, then I buy another asset. And then I take a loan on that asset. And I go back to you, AC. Or maybe, AC, you pissed me off, so I go to Pinkerbell. I go to Pinkerbell's bank. And I say, hey, Pinkerbell, loan me $100 million off this asset I bought. What is it? Some company that makes, like, books. Oh, I like that company. Can I get $100 million? Yeah. You give me $100 million. I go spend that someplace. So I think depends on the billionaire. I think the idea that is keep it in banks, I haven't seen that to be true. So the billionaires that I've spoken to, and again, I don't know lots of them and not my friends, but we have had conversations before. And they do stuff like that a lot. That's a common type of thing they do. So some have given me money. So that's how I know. I've had people who've written big checks to me when I'm raising money to run for office or for a PAC or something. So that's how I meet them, is when I'm trying to get money off them. So that's how I meet them, not because I'm their best buddies. I wish I was. AC, I wish I was. I had a bunch of billionaire buddies. I do not. So yeah. All righty. There we go. All right. Adrian says, my kids think I'm eccentric because I keep odd things others put in the trash because I think I can use it to create something. Being raised by people who survived the depression foster that. Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. I think the same way. I tell my daughter all the time, I don't care about spending money on you. I care about wasting money on you. Right? That's the thing. So yeah. So Mike's on my side here. He says the anti-corp is the richer you are, the more you diversify your assets. Banks hold one of the worst returns of money. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm with you, Mike. I think you're correct. Own a business, invest in a business with returns, which is why they own so many. I know a lot of people who are wealthy are investors in many businesses, sometimes 6 or 8, right? Sometimes more. I know some people who actually will start multiple businesses, hand over to the people, and forget which ones they have actually a piece of. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. So, all righty. Let me grab that one go on a couple more. All right. Gene says, I guess I'm as square as a Mormon too, but I wasn't always. Well, some people have changed. So yeah, some people have mixed and matched on what they've done in their life. I'm with you, Gene. Right. I'm with you. P says, okay, a lot to learn here. The best meth is better than cocaine, and Adderall is crystal meth. I want that to sing everybody listening. That's what I'm saying. People don't know that people snort Adderall. That's the thing. They crush it up and snort it. That's a thing. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, Adderall's expensive though, right? So you got to scam and get a prescription, whatever. But they're wealthy. They don't care. So they bribe the doctor or whatever and say, give me Adderall. So they get Adderall. It's fine, whatever. So they can do it. When you're wealthy, you get it. So yes. Clearly the best meth is better than cocaine. We saw the Breaking Bad TV show that proved that, right? A TV show proves it. Anyway, so yes, but you know as well as I do, Peace, that the wealthier you are, the less chance you do meth, right? The odds are very low you do meth if you're wealthy. You're doing coke or Adderall. You're doing one of those two. So I think that's what most of them do. That's all I'm saying. I think most people would say that. Am I wrong on this one? So he goes on to say, if your kid's on Adderall, he's on crystal meth. Sex on meth is 10 times, hence addiction. There we go. Thank you for your input on that one. Now everyone's going to be trying sex on meth. That's your fault. When someone else has a piece, that's your fault. Don't do that. Don't do what he says. Don't do that. So yes. All right. I appreciate the back and forth. The AC says, it's not so much the billionaires. It's the billionaires and having everybody else in broke. Yes. Okay. Yes. I am far more concerned, to your point, AC. I think we're on the same page at this point. Far more concerned about the idea of massive inequality than I am on people being billionaires. As you've heard me say many times, I don't want just to let the wealthy have everything great and the poor get just enough. I can't stand the at least mindset, which is where many people are. Well, at least they got coverage, or at least they have some food. I don't want that. That's not good enough for me. I think Americans should have great stuff. And if the billionaires have super great stuff, fine, they can have super great stuff. But we should all have great stuff. Let's all have great stuff. And they can have super great stuff. But we all have great stuff. The problem is, to your point, people have to have roommates while billionaires have 7 homes. Most people wouldn't be so mad at billionaires if they could just own their own home. They'd be like, I got a nice house. Okay, he got a better house because she's a billionaire, so she gets a better house. But I got a nice one. I'm good. And I think most people are there. Some people won't be. Some people be jealous no matter what, of course. But most people are like, if I could get mine, I don't care if yours is better. It's fine. I might be a little jealous here or there, but the world's not going to end. But we have a point to where, as we spoke about yesterday, people who can't get coverage are literally dying while the wealthy fly or go to the city with their private doctor and get whatever they want. The inequality is the problem. Now, will there be inequality? Always. I'm not against inequality. I'm not. Some people want to work harder for more. Some people are more ruthless to get more. Some people value stuff more. No worries in inequality. My worry is the gap is far too big. It's not healthy. And to try to bring the billionaires down is virtually impossible. But can we bring all the people up? I think we can. I think that's doable. I think we can bring them up. We have to punish the guys up top a little bit. Maybe. I'm fine with that. But I don't want to go at them and try to pull them down, because then they fight back and they wind up winning. Right? They wind up winning. The only way to end those people is to end those people. And I don't want to do that. I think that is the wrong answer and the wrong way. And revolutions built upon violence tend to stay violent. Look at America. So I would rather not do that if I have a choice. I would rather find another way of doing that. So that would be my choice. AC goes on to say, yeah, they borrow. Yeah, most of them do. Yes. Christine says 100% lottery billionaires not play the game. It's true. They do. 100%. Yes. That's how they get around things, right? They're not, to be forward, people get mad at the wealth of not paying whatever their fair share is, whatever that thing is, right? They're not evading taxes. They're legally avoiding taxes. They're not doing a crime, if that makes any sense, right? This goes back to our other part about what's legal versus not legal, right? What they're doing is legal. They're not breaking laws. Most of them are. I mean, some probably are. Of course, there's always bad people, but they're not. They're doing a legal way of doing it, a legal way. And I'm not okay with that. I'd rather have a straight, look, clearly I don't like taxes, clearly. But I recognize I'm not getting rid of income tax. I wish I could. I can't stand income tax. I hate the whole concept of it. But okay, I can't get rid of it. Fine. I would rather have a straight flat tax, period. With the ceiling, with a floor, An example would be, I'm making this number up. I haven't thought the number up, so the number could change. But just for conversation, the floor is $30,000. So if you make $30,000 or less, no income tax. You make $30,000 in one, you pay on that $1 and everything above it. By default, the wealthy pay more. And it's a straight percentage. I think the percentage should be 9%. Why 9%? The church wants 10. God wants 10. We don't want as much as God. We're not gods. We get 9%. 9%. That's it. That's your income tax. 9% on every dollar you make over 30,000, or change that number, whatever, something like that. And that's it. That's what you pay. How much money did you make? I made $60,000 minus 30 times 0.09. That's what you owe. Done. Yeah, but I donated. I don't care. Yeah, but one is for this tax. There's no tax write-off. But I did. I don't care. One was, I don't care. Did you make the money? Yes. Pay the 9%. Don't care what you did with it. But I invested it. 9%, dude. I don't care what you did with it. Don't tell me. I don't want to know what you did with it. I don't care. Don't care. 9%. But it was a gift. 9%. Done. But I was working for Uber. 9%, dude. The number's 9%. I don't care how you got it. I don't care where you spent it. I don't care what you did with it. Well, I paid rent. Don't care. 9%. Done. You do that. Now we know if you're raising your taxes or not. Now we know. They don't go, well, you're not going to raise the tax on anyone who makes more than 400. No. Did the 9 go up or down? I know if you raise low my taxes. That's it. It went from 9 to 9.1. You raised my taxes. Went from 9 to 8.7. You lowered my taxes. Done. That's transparency. Now, I don't want any taxes. I hate taxes, of course. But I'm a realist. We're not getting rid of them. It's not happening. Well, maybe one day, but not now. Give me a flat tax. I'll shut up for a while. I'll take a flat tax. I'll take it. So, Peace, thank you for the $5, my friend. We all need to learn how to use AI. You become 10 people in one. Don't learn, the concrete will hit your face. That's a worry too. That's a worry too. And I'll bring up a quick piece there, if I could. A quick piece. You should look at stuff like this, like any other technology. What do I mean by that? I always take the example of chess, because I played chess when I was a kid. Chess set, if you can see right here. I like chess. I don't play much anymore. I played when my dad young taught me how to play when I was like 4 years old. He taught me. We played for a while. I beat him when I was 11, then I never really played again after that. Then he passed. So he was the reason why I played chess. So I don't really play. It's much for show. Anyway, I used to play when I was a kid, the little chess games, right? Little chess computer games. And when they first came out, I could beat them, right? The early chess games of the 70s, little chess computers, I could beat them. A good chess player could beat the computer. Even at the highest level, you could beat, and I could beat a computer at the highest level back in the 70s. I could never beat a computer today. No way could I beat a computer today. In fact, now you know the computers can beat the greatest chess masters, right? At the first part, chess master can beat computer, right? I was chess master even, and I could beat the computer back in the 70s, right? But the computers got better. To eventually, now the computers beat the chess masters. So what beats the computer? Chess master and computer beats computer. That's true, right? Back in the day of bringing the horse in, right? First, it was a guy who would plow the field. Then a horse came in and would plow the field better than a man. Huh, he's better than a guy. I should buy a horse. What plows the field better than a horse? Man with a horse. Yeah. So you're exactly right, Peace. You want to be able to use the tool. I tell my daughter this when she went to school. My daughter's graduated with a degree in sequential arts. She went there and she said, Dad, I'm worried because some of the people can draw better than me. I said, I don't care. She said, what? I said, doesn't matter. Well, some of them are better artists than me. I said, doesn't matter. She said, what do you mean it doesn't matter? I'm going to art school. Doesn't matter. She said, what? I said, knowing how to draw is nice. I'm glad you do. And I'm glad you're good at it. It's fine. But knowing what to draw is far more important. Knowing what to draw matters. Knowing how to draw, I can get 1,000 people know how to draw. That's easy. That's dime a dozen. AI does that for me. 5 seconds. I don't need that. That's not a skill set that's valuable to me. I know lots of people can draw well. And I know if you're an artist now, you're mad at me. I don't care. There's a lot of people who can draw well. Lots of them. Literally millions. How many can tell me what to draw? That's a skill set I care about. That's what I'm going to know. Can you tell a story? Can you move me? Can you sell something? Can you influence me? Now I want to hear that. Can you draw well? So what? Computer does that. I don't care. So yes. So you are correct. I went long on that, but yeah, 100%. All righty. Let me grab here if I could. All right. You guys are doing a lot of cool stuff here. I appreciate this. Oh my God, it's just funny. Cheyenne says Coke is for pansies that can't hold their liquor. Nicely done. Like that. Sam says, I dislike being forced to be a consumer of certain industries. These are monopolies because they super fund government to enforce the monopoly. Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. Yes. Right? I want to break monopolies are good for no one. Yes. Joseph says, your main point is the inequality gap is 100% supported by and caused by government corruption. Yes, I agree. And how do I know this? To be forward, I'm not just saying it, Joseph. You know because you live in my state. The state that has the most government control over the economy in the entire union is New York State. It has the most control over healthcare than any other state, most control over all the other aspects of our lives, most control. Ranked least free by Cato 6 years in a row. Spends the most money per capita on education than any state in the union. Most money most for healthcare. Top 10 for healthcare. Most for education in the entire state of the union. Most. And has the worst inequality gap. That's my proof of that. The more control the government has over the economy, the more there will be a wealth gap. The more there'll be a gap. You are 100% correct, and New York State's proof of that. The other places that have heavy government control. China, Russia, massive, massive wealth gaps. The less direct control the government has over the more chance, again, it's not perfect here, the more chance that you will actually be able to have less inequality. Less. So even when it was the Soviet Union, wealth gap was horrible. The oligarchs had all the money. Everyone else was dirt poor. Wealth gap, even because it was a heavily government controlled. The more government control, the more inequality you have. Pickleball says, I'm with you there, Larry. A sustainable levels of inequality. Eventually, people just fight back. This goes back to last night's show. People not being mad the billionaire is gone. Why? Who cares? Billionaire has all that money. We don't care. Yes. Yes. 100%. Norcash Meat says, thank you, Larry, for just the at least phrase. That's always made me crazy. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. I don't want that. At least. At least is me trying to be your white knight. I'm going to come in and be your white knight. I'm going to make sure you at least have this. What do you have? Oh, I have all the things. But you get this at least because I love you, NorCal. So I'm going to give you this thing. At least you have that. You got a box to sleep in. Wait a second, Larry. In my third mansion, that's where I'm going to sleep. But you're going to sleep in this box. At least you got a box and you got a cat. See that? You got a cat in a box. Look at that. That's at least. Right? No. If I'm going to have 3 mansions, you should have a nice house. I'm not saying you just get it. You should have a system to where it is realistic for you to have a nice place to be. 100%. That is my issue. Yes. Roy says, the more you have, the more banks can lend without trusting you. Yeah, because banks can lend on assets Exactly. Without recourse to the individual, which means billionaires can be less responsible than average Joes. Correct? Correct. Yes, 100%. That is correct. I think you're totally right. All righty. Christine said, this may be totally unlibertarian, but I think it should be legal for these house and apartment rental agencies to trade on Wall Street. You know, I get your point, and this is the problem that I have, Christine. And I'm with you. I'm agreeing with you. But I'm going to explain why. Theoretically, I disagree with you. In theory, but in practice, I agree. Let me explain the difference. In theory, we should be leaving this alone. But the problem is in practice, we have allowed through our laws and our rules and our government to support the finance industry so much in New York State, in the country. New York State's huge for finance. In the country, that we are over our industry, our GDP is too much for finance. Finance is an important part, right? You do want to have a good financial sector for your business. You want to be able to loan, but we are all about everything's finance. Remember was it 90s, was it, or 2000s? Jack Welch and GM, how awesome, was it GM? No, GE, how awesome GE was, right? GE was making money on mortgages, finance. It wasn't making money on selling dishwashers. That's how bad we are. A lot of large companies, they just make a bunch of money. They don't spend it. What do? They turn themselves into a bank. They make themselves mortgage companies. They make money on finance versus actually selling the goods. Yeah. So you go buy a Ford. You don't go you don't go to a bank and borrow the money from the Ford. No, you borrow the money from the Ford Motor Finance Company. They become a finance company. So in theory, I would disagree. In practice, I completely agree. We should have rules in our society because of how bad our rules are to stop people from gambling homes away, right? This is why I was actually a fan of Glass-Steagall existing. Now you might go, Larry, you're libertarian. Why would you want any rules and regulations? I don't like the overregulation. Glass-Steagall was simple. I like simple, clear regulations. Simple and clear and transparent. And what that said was you were either an investment bank or a savings and loans. If you are a savings and loan, you do things like mortgages. You make money on mortgages. You make money on loans. Okay, got it. You could help someone buy a car. That's what you do. Farm loan. All right. Or investment bank. You roll the dice in the market. No worries. I'm okay even having less regulations on those. If you want to roll the dice, Christine, you're like, hey, I don't mind. I'm ready to roll the dice. I'm going to put my cash in the market. What happens, happens. Good on you. Your money, enjoy. The problem is now once we mix them, now the bank, savings and loans, is now also an investment bank, which means they're all just investment banks because they take your mortgage and they put it in the market. And most people don't think the mortgage goes in the market. What's my mortgage? Yeah, it does, to your point. They're all trading on Wall Street, right? Now, what if I don't have a mortgage? I rent. That's still my home. My home shouldn't go in the market. It's my home. It shouldn't go on Wall Street. No, because when they lose in Wall Street, they're going to raise my rent. No. So I agree with you. If you want to have other commercial properties that you want to roll the dice on, because the business, that's on you. I don't mind that. You buy a commercial building and you want to put that into the market? Good luck. Enjoy. I hope you win. But my home? We've done that. It's one of the reasons why, there are many reasons, but it's one of the reasons why the rents are so damn high. It's because you're right, Christine. It's all on the market. So yes, again, in theory, because you're right, it's unlibertarian. In theory, I think you're wrong. In theory, in practice, you're correct. So I'm actually on your side on that one. I hope that makes sense. I want that clarity to be what I was talking about there. There is a difference in clarity. So to make sure that's clear. So anyway, I do want to grab some more of these if I can. Prickabell says, I'm with Christine. Yeah, 100%. Mark says the Glass-Steagall Act was a brain piece of legislation. Agreed, Mark. Again, I know it's regulation, but I think it's the right answer. I completely agree. Yes, I think that piece matters tremendously. Christine goes on to say, people are unable to afford rent for apartments, and families are being outbid on homes because the multi-billion-dollar industry is making money on renters. Yes, because you're correct. So again, I am saying that theoretically, I understand why you said it, because with libertarian theory, that would be incorrect. But I don't have a libertarian market, right? If I had an actual libertarian market, this wouldn't be a thing, but I don't, right? So I think you do have to somehow do that. So Joseph goes on to say, Glass-Steagall was struck down by Clinton. Correct. That was the end. Glass-Steagall was the end by Clinton. Clinton finished it off. I think it's the era around Carter was when they began to deregulate. And I wasn't against much of the deregulation. I was like, it's okay. I don't mind. I wasn't upset. But once you get the Glass-Steagall, at that point, it's like, stop, you're done. It's like, you've cut enough. You could stop there. We're good. Stop. And they were like, nope, all of it gone. All of it gone. Yeah, that part is terrible. Really, that was the end. So, yeah. All righty. I do want to, if I could, remind you, guys, please click the button known as like. I know I ask you all the time. I bug you all the time because it matters. It's how I get past everything. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook, please share it. It does matter. If you haven't subscribed yet to me on YouTube or Facebook, please do so. Every subscriber matters. Thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate all of them. Membership's critical. Every member counts. Click that join button on either Larry Sharpe or on Sharpe Way YouTube. Become a member, $5 a month. It keeps you doing more of this and lots of other things. I am going to try my best to do a show tomorrow. It may be late. I have a drive to I have to literally drive a couple hours after my event to get to a hotel for the next morning's event. I will either do an event at the actual diner to Pinkabell's place. It'll be a pub, what you call it? A pub show. Yeah, it'll be that. Pubcast, it'll be that. Or I may do a show later on, or I may not be able to make every single one. I hope I can. I'm going to try to. My damnest, I'm going to try to. I've been able to do so far 8 shows in 7 days. Is that right? I think that's correct. 8 shows in 7 days, or yeah. So I've been able to do 8 so far. I want to try to keep going if I can. I will do my best to make this happen if I can. Either way, guys, after this is over, please leave a comment underneath. I will respond to them. I'm going to let you go now. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. If not, I'll see you on Sunday, but hopefully tomorrow. I will see you all very soon.